What's up, party people? So I got some parts in. So the people from I gotta plan this out a little bit better. Good old V8 Roadster guys sent you a nice little letter about stuff you buy. So I bought, ta-da, hand model. Ooh. So this is their transmission kit. I'll say this goes on the side that has the catalytic converter, and then it comes with nice hardware. Is that 10.9, whatever. Then the tiny bushings actually have a part number, and then the side plates. You can't really fuck this up, guys. They only fit on one way, but you got a hammer, then it can fit both ways, and a drill. So a little curious about the 2 extra holes. I counted 8 bolts, but see 6 here and 4 on this side. Not too sure. I gotta go on their website. Once again, this is why I spent the money, because even though this seems pretty simple, let's see, 1 bend, 2 bend, 4 bends there, then this nice little crease right here, and water jet laser cut. I don't know, but it sure is pretty, and their brake is sure sharp as shit. So, and then I thought I made another video. These are great until you break them. Still works though. I bought some other stuff. So, got a new shift boot. That's great. I'll keep the exhaust out of the car. Got a new shifter bushing itself. Depending on how this shifts, I'll wait until I get a short shifter. And then I had something else. Before I scratch the car, let's get rid of this big guy. So my trunk is my new storage. Ah, yes. The CX Racing diff mount. So this guy sits on the diff. Something like this. Laser or water jet. I mean, this thing's sharp. The welds are interesting. Let me flip this around. So that piece is a cast. There's only 1 bolt that holds this on, which is a little scary. Then the bushings are some weird blue plastic. I don't know if he's casting these themselves, but they do have a metal sleeve in them, thank goodness. But those welds, looks like he used filler on these. No filler on those, because see how they recess? No focus, you fuck. So I forget what that's called again, because it's late at night. But for the most part, that bolts on like that. And then it came with 4 more big bolts. Oh, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 big bolts and another little bolt. And then this thing is also sharp as sin. And once again, I mean, do I TIG? No, I just finally got an aluminum welder. I'll probably dip the tungsten all day long because I'm way out of practice, let alone, you know, it's been quite a long time. But see how it goes in and doesn't bubble out? I don't think you really use too much filler. As much as I would say I am going to go back and weld over this, this gets shoved up against the cross member and won't tack weld it anyways, because I'm going to have a hard time trying to drill those bolts straight. But it is some decently thick plate. I haven't fitted it yet, so I'm a little curious how it's going to fit. And then lots more loom. We won't have to re-loom the factory harness. And then, because that other angle thing's broken, once again, trip to Harbor Freight, like $40 for a digital angle finder. Digital angle gauge, whatever you want to call it. It's funny how they put it at an angle. Got it. And so I got that. In case I'm trimming anything, I do have some shrink wrap, or shrink sleeving, but I bought some more. And then my trunk is now storing most of the new bits. As I said before, this nice drive shaft that hopefully I will be able to test out won't have any vibration, and because it was bigger than the factory one by 3/4 of an inch, it hit the cross member, and I tried nipping it out, but it was just too much cutting out and re-welding and buying more material and time and money. And sometimes it is worth spending the money not to sit here and try to design this. I could have done it in CAD, but you know what? I still got to go to work for 40 plus hours a week, and time is everything. So now I have to get this guy in here and mark all these holes and start drilling, and then I'm debating if I'm going to weld the nuts on the back side of these plates to make life easier, so no one has to be in the car when I'm tightening the bolts. And if I have that much concern about, well, either way, okay, if these back out, then they back out. I'll better dab a blue Loctite on them or something if I'm going to weld in the nut, that way they don't come loose. Life is easier if you don't have to put a second wrench on it and get to everything on one side. So this is the V8 Roadsters, really nice, powder coated. Look how shiny that powder coat is. Transmission cross member comes with a nice baggie of hardware, and then reinforcement plates, because that tunnel ain't gonna hold anything with that thin sheet metal. And then boot, a bigger boot, and then the CX Racing stuff. So I guess you guys will find out soon enough once I get under the car if the CX Racing stuff does fit, let alone the other stuff. And then yeah, I'll go from there. So God knows which clip this is. So the V8 Roadster transmission mount's going in. Let me flip the camera around and show you my ugly welds. So there we go. So I started with just the two bottom holes on each side, screws facing in because hold the mount in place. Yeah, it's a little extra work, but tightened everything up, did the other side, and then I started flipping the bolts around and start welding the nuts, because if you weld the bolt heads here, you'll never get the mount out without cutting, or you gotta pull the whole plate off at once. Yeah, don't do that. As for this weird notch, I don't know if the 6 speeds sit further back here, because that would wrap around that, but I don't know if this would really fit all the way back here. But I don't know. This is new to me. So, a couple tacks to hold the screws in. The other side is the same way. All 4 are welded. That's where that plate goes. Transmission is centered, because for a second I thought it was supposed to go further back, but it would hit the firewall. And then underneath, in all its glory, there's the mount. So it comes with some nice hardware. As for the mount, it's just 2 rubber bushings with bolts that go all the way through, so I'm not too sure how exactly that works, because once the rubber starts squishing, jam the bolts back out, so maybe some blue Loctite. And then for the rear, we'll get the CX Racing deal. So like mentioned, the rear will get the CX Racing PPF delete. I don't have time to weld this in today, but once again, that's how the Roadster mount goes in. I would recommend marking the plates, the orientation for the inside of the car here. It'll make life a lot easier. Like I said, jacked it up, made sure, touch both sides, drilled the 2 bottom holes because they're easy to get to, put the hardware through, and then from the Other side, this side, as mentioned, I just drilled straight through. Used the plate as the template. Life's easier. Can you weld the nuts on beforehand? Maybe. May want to elongate the holes a little, I don't know, or make them a little bigger to give you more play, but to each their own. I'm doing it this way. That way, if I do want to take it off, nothing really moves. I may throw a tack on the plate to the tunnel so the plate doesn't ever move. If I do take that brace off for whatever reason, just have the plate slide under the carpet, that would kind of suck. So I'll probably throw a tack or two there as well on each side and be done with it. So that's how the V8 Roadster PPF delete, at least for the transmission side, works. And in my next video, I'll do the CX racing side of it. So until then, peace out. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing, like the video. Thank you for the last 4 people that subscribe. I'm up to 320, I think, right now. I appreciate it. One day I'll hit 1,000, make a nickel, and then I can afford to pay for turbos and other things. But till then, once again, peace out.